CVT transmission pressure tests. The procedures presented here are specific to the Jatco Nissan Sentra CVT transmission. However, these procedures can be effected on any CVT, with the difference being the pressure ports change. Any service manual will show you the proper ports for the CVT you're working on. Your first tool of choice is a high-pressure gauge, or high-pressure electronic transducer. You can also use an oscilloscope, or even better, a graphing multimeter to record the pressure waveforms. Finally, we'll also present a little-known device, but with great usefulness. It is called a duty cycle controller circuit. These duty cycle circuits are now sold at many electronic houses, and can be used to control any electrical solenoid. Most, but not all of them, have variable voltage settings. In our case, we'll use 12 volts. Assuming you'll be using a pressure gauge, use the diagrams seen here, to connect the gauge. Start the engine, and raise the vehicle up in the air, using a shop lift. If not using a lift, do not go under the car with the engine on. Remember that each time we change to a different pressure port, we have to turn the engine off, since the ports are pressurized. Unless we use more than one pressure transducer, but more on it later. There are two ways to do these tests. One is to have someone accelerate the vehicle in drive, while you monitor each and every pressure port, turning off the engine as you go along. The other is to leave the engine on, and affect the solenoids using the duty cycle controller. If you have multiple pressure gauges, all the better. However, this is where the pressure transducer is king. All you do then is connect or screw multiple pressure transducers to the ports. You then use either a rotary switch to one channel, or a multi-channel graphing meter to view the readings. Finally, all you need is a chart to monitor the pressures, according to the engine speed, and vehicle speed. Remember, this is not a regular transmission, whereby you have multiple shift solenoids, such as shift solenoids A, B, C and D. No. This is a CVT transmission, and is a lot easier. There are no truth tables to deal with. Just effect the forward clutch, and the desired primary and secondary variator duty cycle, to test the transmission in the car. The problem with CVTs is that you may not have issues with the variators, or the belt. Your issue could be in the wiring, electronics, or something else more often than not. The CVT behaves different than the old automatic, so testing is essential. In some cases, the pressure charts are not that readily available or accurate, but that'll change as they become more commonplace. And, you can even make your own charts, as time permits. It is even possible to actuate the CVT, while the vehicle is on the ground, and without the gauges or transducers being connected, but using the duty cycle controller circuits. It'll give you a chance to hard shift, or force the CVT into action, without the transmission computer in the picture. As in most newer automotive technologies, practice makes perfect.